Hey guys, Scott with Raxis, and today I wanted to go over an attack that is probably one of the easiest attacks that we run across on an internal pen test, and that is broadcast poisoning and SMB relay. It's actually two attacks that combine together very well, and this is the type of attack that you can come in on an internal pen test, set up your laptop, start a couple of tools, go get coffee, come back, and you are domain admin. It is that easy, and we run across it way too often. So check out this video. It goes through the entire attack chain, breaks down both attacks, why it happens, and you can also use this on as a defender to make sure that in your remediation process that you're validating that you've actually remediated properly. So anyway, thanks for checking it out, and here you go. All right, we are going to start this demo using a tool called Responder. Responder is a favorite among network pen testers because it makes the process of catching hashes and the man-in-the-middle attack extremely easy. Responder will spin up an HTTPS server, WPAD server, DNS server, LDAP, SMB, a lot of different server types that you will find in a corporate network. And basically, it spins those servers up in an attempt to catch authentication attempts across the network. So it will listen for whatever is being broadcast around the network. So if you've got a machine that has an old login script looking for file server 10 and file server 10 no longer exists, then responder will raise its hand and say, that's me, connect to me, and Windows will try to authenticate to that box. So we will start responder here, and as you can see, it's running all of these different server types. We don't need the auth proxy. Now we're not using it for this demo. And this is a very small lab, so I don't have a lot of traffic happening at the moment, but I will generate an attempt to FS02. So I've got a Windows 10 box that's looking for FS02.local. Doesn't exist on the real network, so responder raised his hand, said that's me, and Windows has tried to authenticate to that box. And as you can see, we have the domain. We have administrator, so that's a really good sign that we've got a really good account. And we've got the box that it came from, the host that it came from. Could be important later on. But really all we are interested in right now is this portion right here, the NTLM version 2 hash. We can take this, copy it out to a file, and run it through Hashcat, and then we may, if we can crack it, the weak password, then we can use it for other purposes. Okay, so we have the NTLM version 2 hash. We need to save that to a file so we can throw Hashcat at it. So use nano, save the contents of the hash. As you can see, administrator ABC Corp and the remainder of the hash. And now we run Hashcat. I'm just using a modified rocku .txt file for the word list and the dive rule, which really don't need, but NTLM version 2 is mode 5600, and see what we come up with. And it cracked it pretty quickly, which it would. So the password is Parkside44, very insecure, especially for an administrator password. So let's go a step further and see what we can do. So we already know that 10.1.3.50 is a domain controller. So we're going to use CrackMapExec to see if we can authenticate as administrator and with the password of Parkside44 over SMB. So hit enter, and we not only authenticated, but we actually have rights on that box. That's a really good sign for us. So we will run the same command, but add this at the end. So basically we're going to connect and download the Active Directory database from the ntds.dit file, I believe it's called. So as you can see, it's dumping all of the hashes from Active Directory. And the main ones that we want to focus on for easy cracking are these user hashes here. And so we've got quite a few user hashes. We have NTLM hashes that can be passed and are a little bit quicker to crack than NTLM version 2. And so we will move on to the next phase where we will talk about also capturing hashes and using NTLMRelay. All right, so we are back into Responder. So I've got two windows open this time so we can watch what happens between the two different tools. We're going to use Responder again, and then we're going to use one of the Impacket tools called NTLMRelay. There's lots of different tools you can use. NTLMRelay, SMB Relay, Responder also has a tool that the name escapes me, but I like NTLMRelay. I can relay to multiple hosts at one time. So what we're looking for is we need to edit the responder config file, and we need to turn off SMB and HTTP. Basically, all you do is change from on to off, save the file, yes, and then we're going to launch Responder again. The same as we did before, and as you can see, SMB server and HTTP server are both off. We don't want to listen for those protocols because we're going to use NTLMRelay to do that for us. So I went ahead and created a list of hosts that we can relay to here. So these hosts do not have SMB signing enforced. SMB signing is disabled, and which is key for this attack. So there are quite a few different ways you can do this. You can use Nmap, you can use CrackMap to get a list of SMB hosts with SMB signing disabled. And so I'm going to run NTLMRelay against those hosts. So launch. And Responder just helps capture more of the traffic, the broadcast traffic. And looks like I need to update, do it later, whatever. This is still running just fine. So basically, I'm going to generate, that traffic's generating already. I'm going to generate some traffic on the network. And let's see what we get. We have a host that is trying to connect to the server at FS0123. That doesn't exist. So as you can see, NTLMRelay is taking this Tyler.Durden accounts and relaying it across the network. And we'll see what happens. And there we go. We have they're still coming in. So as you can see, I'm going to stop this. Don't need anything further. As you can see, we are dumping the SAM hashes on this host, on this host, and on this host, and so on. These SAM hashes are the local user hashes. They're NTLM hashes. And that administrator one is probably going to be good. There's an admin one. We can take these and go back to CrackMap and see what we can do with these hashes. All right, so now that we have the NTLM hash, we want to throw it back into CrackMap. And basically what I'm doing is, instead of going after the domain controller, I'm going after the entire network. Since this came from a local machine, I want to use the --local-auth to authenticate to local machines to hopefully not get locked out. You don't want to throw this until you test it on one machine. You don't want to throw this hash out across the domain for all the domain machines, because you very well could lock out an account if that's not the domain admin password hash. And on a red team, you could very well give yourself away if you've been able to get this far. On pen tests, I have accidentally done something like that, and my foothold had to go and start over because the IT team saw it and changed the password, so I had to start all over. Wasn't very difficult. Still got in, got everything I needed, but was a pain to do that and start over. So anyway, I'm going to run this CrackMapExec one more time, and as you can see, we have 7 machines that local hash has access to and has rights to log into via SMB. So I'm going to stop that and see what else we can do here. So CrackMap is a very powerful tool. You can do a lot of stuff with it. If you haven't played with it, I highly recommend it. If we want to dump the SAM database from all of these machines to get further hashes, or hashes that we can further spray across the network, then we just add the --SAM at the end and see what we get. So I see administrator, guess we don't need. There's IT admin, there's user 1. So as you can see, we have lots to play with here. More usernames, more hashes. More than likely, these are going to be domain admin hashes for the IT admin, and same password for the domain accounts. So anyway, there you go. That's just a quick demo on what you can do with Responder, SMB relay, or NTLM relay, just relaying hashes, capturing broadcast traffic, and poisoning broadcast traffic, and spraying what you find using CrackMap. So defenders, get out there and start locking down your network. Some of this stuff is very easy to remediate. Just enabling SMB signing across the network, that helps remediate hashes from being relayed. Having strong passwords keeps Hashcat from being able to crack in a short period. We still crack some long passwords, but they do get a lot lengthier as far as time goes for cracking. And for the broadcast poisoning attacks, there are some group policies you can set up. You can disable NetBIOS, LLMNR. You can turn off WPAD. There are some policies you can set up for that, and there are some things you can set up in DNS to help limit some of this type of attack. So anyway, thanks for listening, and check us out for more videos. Thanks.